Hey you guys, so today we're going to start off this look by applying a different primer to the face than I usually apply. This is going to be the Gleam Radiance by Melanie Mills, and I believe this is Bronze Gold, the one that is closest to my skin tone. I chose this primer, which later on I found out was kind of a big mistake for me, but I chose this primer because I just sat down and started doing makeup. I didn't really have a plan for this look. All I knew I wanted was green eyeshadow. So I was like, oh, let me start off with luminous skin. So the reason I feel like this was a mistake was because of the green eyeshadows that I use later. They give a very luminous look, and so I didn't want, you know, luminous eyes with luminous skin and a glossy lip. Right here, I've put on my under eye corrector on all the dark spots on my areas, and with my fingers, I'm just going to blend this out, pressing it slightly into my skin on only the dark areas so that it cancels out the dark spots on my skin. Now I'm going to follow it up with a foundation color that is a little bit lighter than my skin tone, just to brighten up the center of my face. And I do this, you guys, because I just want it to be a little bit brighter in front of the camera. I'm not necessarily, you know, I wouldn't do this technique if I was just kind of going out and about, like hanging out with friends and family. But this is just to give me some dimension in front of the camera. So if you're not going to be doing your makeup in front of the camera, then you don't have to worry about this step at all.
You know how it is. You could see a ring. I know you love kids.
Now I'm going to apply the foundation all over the perimeter of my skin that actually matches my skin. And with the fat part of my sponge, I'm going to now blend this in by just going on top of it and bouncing this wet sponge on top of the foundation over and over again until it blends into the skin.
Emotions made of glass and it could shatter any moment. As long as you know I'm not your opponent, just keep it going, you know it'll be okay. I'm just holding on to you.
I put a thin amount, but on the areas that need some extra like coverage, I apply another layer of foundation. Now I'm going to begin to highlight underneath my eyes with a concealer that's about 2 to 3 shades lighter than my skin tone. This is what's going to help to brighten up the under eye area. I'm going to place this concealer underneath my eyes, down the center of my nose, my forehead, and my chin. Now with the pointy part of my beauty blender, I'm going to go ahead and press this concealer into the skin and just blend it out. It's been sitting on my skin for I would say probably about 5 to 7 minutes, just drying down. And the more that a concealer dries down, the heavier coverage it will have. So you won't even have to put on, you know, a thick layer of concealer if you want maximum coverage. Just apply it to the skin and let it sit there for a little while, or take a fan and allow the concealer, the cream concealer, to dry and become a little bit tacky before blending it out. That way you'll have a heavier, fuller coverage. Now I'm going to go ahead and set all of those highlighted areas with this banana colored setting powder. And I'm going to put this only on the areas that I have applied highlight concealer. Now I'm going to begin by contouring my eyelids with a fluffy dome shaped brush. I'm going to take this matte cocoa eyeshadow color called Central Park and kind of sweep it into the socket of my eyelid. The socket of my eyelid is basically that space between the eyeball and the brow bone. If you poke your eye with it, with your finger, there's kind of like a hollow space there. So basically what I'm doing is I am contouring that area to give the illusion that it's set back just a little bit, or just give the illusion that there's a little bit more dimension in my eyelid. Now with a tiny eyeshadow brush, I am going to apply this white eyeshadow base all over my lid, all the way up into my eye socket. And that's going to be over the kind of crease in my eye and just going up a little higher. That way when my eye is open, it still looks, you can still see the color very prominently. That's also the reason why I'm using a white eyeshadow base, is because I want the color to be very, very intense and very loud. Then with my finger, you guys, I'm just going to press in and blend out this eyeshadow base to make sure that it's smooth, so that when the eyeshadow goes on top of it, it will have a smooth surface to adhere to, and there won't be any clumps or just uneven surfaces with the eyeshadow color. Now with my blending brush, I'm going to take this matte green eyeshadow and work it between those two colors, that brown matte eyeshadow and the eyeshadow base, which the other colors are going to go on top of it later. But this is just going to help to transition that green to the brown by blending this out first. Now with my eyeshadow brush, I'm going to now pack that matte green eyeshadow. Well, first I'm going to kind of smooth out that crease that formed in the eyeshadow base. Then I'm going to press this eyeshadow, this matte green eyeshadow, on the inner corner of my eye several times until the eyeshadow is even and applied all over that lower area. Now with the same brush, I'm going to pack this on the outer corner of the eye and avoid putting this color in the middle as much as possible.
Maybe you don't even feel if heaven's so far away from here, then why does it feel so near?
Now with another eyeshadow brush, I'm going to apply this shimmering turquoise eyeshadow color in the center of the lid. This is a great trick, you guys, if you want to use shimmery eyeshadows, but you don't like the idea of it being all over the eyelid, or if you want to just kind of avoid it being on, you know, creases of the eye or certain age lines or things like that. But by putting a matte eyeshadow on the two outer corners and then just shimmer on the center, it really makes the shimmer pop out and it draws more attention to the iris of the eyelid. So, you know, your eye color and all of that. So it just really kind of draws attention to the right places instead of all over the eyelid. Now going back to the blending brush, I'm going to make small little circles between the brown and the green with a little bit more of the matte green eyeshadow, just to blend out the corners of the top lid eyeshadow a little bit more.
Hey, I'm just holding on to you.
Then on the bottom of the eyelid, I'm going to go ahead and apply that matte white eyeshadow base, because I'm going to now apply some green eyeshadow underneath there. Now with a pointed eyeliner brush, I'm going to apply Pool Party, that shimmering turquoise we applied on the center of the top lid. I'm going to apply that to the inner quarter of the bottom lid. And then on the outer 3/4, I'm going to apply Jada, which is that matte teal eyeshadow color that we applied on the inner corner and the outer corner of the top eyelid.
I don't know what you're feeling now. Maybe you don't even feel.
Now going back to the blending brush, I'm going to just kind of smooth out and blend out the corners and the edges of that green eyeshadow so that it's not so harsh.
Why does it feel so near? I believe in angels. Same way I believe in you. Yeah. And you say you don't have.
Now with Mary Kay's Lash Intensity Mascara, I'm going to apply this to the top lashes of my eyelid.
I'm thinking about your love.
Now after the eyes are done, I'm going to go on to contouring the face. I'm going to use this big cheek brush to apply Cocoa Contour by Mary Kay along the perimeter of my face, and especially along my cheekbones, just to kind of create some dimension in the skin.
She say that I'm Hollywood, I probably could.
Now for the lips, I wanted to stick with a lip that was kind of nude-ish brown to play off of just keeping the eyes the center of attention. So I used this Chestnut lip liner that's a little darker than my skin tone all over my lips, and this is by NYX Cosmetics. Then I pierced my lips together in order to blend out the lip liner a little bit so that the line is not as harsh when I put the lipstick on top of it.
It's a different type of feeling when she love you when you feel it.
And then on top of Chestnut, I'm going to apply Cork lip liner, and this one is by MAC as well, on top of Chestnut, but I'm going to allow Chestnut to peek out on the outer corner a little bit just to give that ombre effect on my lips, and then pierce them together to blend them out a little bit.
Just holding on to you.
Truth be told, you guys, I love the lip just as it is, like this. Just, I wish I had left it right here, but I didn't. I went on a little bit more and applied DM lipstick by, or DM Me by NYX, and then applied gloss on top of that. And that's the look, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing on videos if you like this one.
I don't know what you're feeling now. Maybe you don't even feel